G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game on the brand new patch of Age of Empires 4. Today we've got two top level players, names you should be familiar with if you've watched any Outback Octagon games. It is two top level pros. Let's introduce them for you today. In the south of the map, in the color purple, playing as the Chinese. Representing Team Liquid, we've got Demu. And in the north of the map, in the color orange, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, it's Ayyubids. Not a fun matchup today for Ayyubids. This is a hard one. Now, I love this matchup playing it as the Chinese. It always makes me feel good to be in this matchup playing as the Chinese. I just feel so safe. I feel like there's not really much that the Delhi Sultanate can do against you. There's a couple different ways that you can play it. So, like, one of the super duper easy ways to play it is just go 1TC Song Dynasty and make a lot of Zhukunu. And there's not really a lot that the Delhi Sultanate can do to you. That's the first option. Second option, you can just go 2TC and go Song Dynasty and just go straight to Castle Age. And then it's a bit weird because you just let them take the sacred sites. And you obviously it feels pretty like you're far behind. But normally by the time, so essentially your 2TC Song Dynasty pays off in time for you to actually take back the sacred sites. That's generally the idea. Look, it's one of those things. It's a bit awkward because it doesn't always happen that way. It depends on the skill of the player. It depends on the map layout. It depends on the amount of sacred sites. So I think that's going to be a key factor here today. Another key factor that I want to be looking out for is going to be with regard to Siege. Obviously, Siege has been on my mind quite a bit lately because it's been a while since we've had such a change to the mechanics of the game like we have with Siege, and the Chinese have gotten away pretty much scot-free in this update. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing Demu play and whether he's going to be able to get some good value out of Nest of Bees today. So we'll look forward to how he goes about it. So far, beautiful opening from him. Interesting decision to go into the early village, but how much did he gather? He didn't gather that much here. By going into the early village, this is just going to do a very small delay on your lumber camp expansion. That's it. So basically, you just have to send vills to wood to gather for 50 wood. That's essentially it. Oh my god, look at all the sheep that he's got. Oh, he's going to be so happy. You feel so happy as a Chinese player having all of these sheep underneath your milk, because remember that this is 13 sheep, but they're all getting multiplied by the Imperial official, so really that number is quite a bit higher. I like that he's bringing the one sheep out here with him as well. Did sheep get buffed? Why did that sheep look like it was moving so fast? So the first thing he's going to be doing in this situation, very, very smart here, and that's just putting the Barbican on a sacred site. So by putting the Barbican on the sacred site, what you're doing is you're preventing the opponent from just taking that freely. Now, there's actually a couple of ways that you can take that as the Delhi Sultanate. So the easiest way to do it is if you've got 3 scholars, it's enough to actually out-heal the Barbican's damage. So you just bring 3 scholars onto the sacred site and you cap it. So that's normally the most common way that you'll see players do it. The other one is you just kill the Barbican, which the Delhi Sultanate will do. But this is hopefully just going to be able to buy him enough time. So simply by the fact that he's doing this, it kind of makes me think he's going to go into 2 TCs and probably play for a Song Dynasty Castle Age. That's what I'm thinking. So Tower of Victory, we'll wait and see how he does it though. Tower of Victory now going to be coming up for Ayyubids. I'm putting my legs up on my desk. If you haven't already put your legs up and got yourself something to drink, pause the video, go get something to drink, because I reckon we're going to be in for a good game here today. Wheelbarrow is slowly coming through for Ayyubids. Now, keep in mind, both of these players are Conk 3 players, but obviously at the start of a season, the ranks do reset, so naturally it means everyone is down a little bit further. I think at the moment, Demu is Conk 2, and I think Ayyubids is like Diamond or something like that, but, the more games you play, the more quickly you'll rise up the ranks. That's typically the way that it works, but we do now start to see these villages have begun the migration. So I do suspect Demu's going to be looking to put down that lumber camp shortly, then probably that stone or that mining camp. But the age up has now come through for Ayyubids in the north, and then Demu in the south with the Barbican. Beautifully positioned Barbican. Not only does it protect this sacred site, but it also somewhat guards this relic. Now, you're still going to be able to take this relic, but it's an interesting decision to go for this sacred site with the Barbican. One of the ways I kind of like to think about it is if you go for the edge of the map, like let's say he puts the Barbican down here, your enemy is now going to have to really come out of the way here to attack this Barbican, and that's going to buy you more time. Whereas in the event that they just come straight through to the middle and then they attack the Barbican, kill the Barbican, they just can kind of walk towards your base straight away. So it's one of those little details, and it's kind of nice to have these sacred sites together so that you can ping pong between them to attack them. But at the same time, maybe it's nice for the enemy to have these two sacred sites together and to be able to ping pong between them and defend them. So, you know, going for the Barbican in the middle is going to split the opponent. And now, potentially, instead of just denying that one sacred site, there is a world where Demo can deny a second sacred site because the enemy's army might be out of position. So, there you go. There's my short little analysis. I'm curious to see exactly how it plays out for him. All right, well, upgrades are starting to come through here for Ayyubids. I love the fact that he's gone into the second mill here as well, just to help pick up some extra upgrades, and obviously helps with the carry distance for these villagers on berries. All of the upgrades he is clicking right now. We can see he's got every single eco upgrade, also got Sanctity on the way through. No real surprise there. About a 7-minute timing here for him, and he does have the 2 scholars just to start out with, and that's pretty standard for him. So he'll be obviously scouting out the Barbican. We did see his scout a little bit earlier, so naturally he'll look to get these scholars moving out to the corners of the maps to pick up the sacred sites as quick as he can. The only thing to note, though, is Demo is going to be looking to deny any presence he can on those sacred sites. And with the scout nearby, it will mean that Ayyubids has to have units out. He has to have those units ready to go. And make sure that he's able to deny it. Demo will still probably try and run rings around the sacred site and try his best to stop the enemy from doing it. Hold on, what do we got back here? Is Demo's not even going for a second TC. He's actually just going 1 TC. Is he going 1 TC Song Dynasty Fast Castle? Is that what we're seeing here? It looks like that's what it might be. This is kind of... I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've seen this for a long time. This has been a while since I've seen this. Normally, if you're going Song Dynasty, your 2 primary options are the second TC or Jukunu, but fast castling into Song Dynasty, it makes sense in the sense that he's going to be booming, right? Like, he is focusing to an extent on his economy. It's a very expensive boom, though, right? But I think it definitely serves both purposes, or both landmarks serve a purpose. Because normally, when you put down the Barbican, you're not really getting much out of it. Like, if he was playing against any other civilization here, the Barbican wouldn't really make a lot of sense on the sacred side. And normally, when you'd put it down, it would just be in a very defensive position. So in this situation here, he might even just look to have like the Barbican here on the stone, and that's not the case for him today. Like, the Barbican here in the middle is actually really, really nice. Gets a lot of value. Sacred Site's coming through now, 7 minutes 30. And we've got the second scholar moving up towards this top site. Looks like Demo's just going to allow this to happen, which is, I think this is reasonable. He doesn't even want to play around with it just because he sees the stables coming up and he knows he will lose his scout if he attempts to neutralize that. But, yeah, I like, as an example, if he was playing against any other civilization and he was doing, like, a Song Dynasty fast castle, I'd be a bit, not concerned, but just, like, it just feels like a bit of a waste of resources. Like, I can understand the Imperial Academy. You get great value by being able to make the extra Imperial officials, by being able to pick up the Imperial examinations, which we did see him just pick up right there. So you get great value out of that, whereas, like, you know, it feels like you're delaying things. Like, you could definitely add it in a little bit later, but I think you probably just want to, like, prioritize getting the Castle Age and, you know, being able to pick up relics, getting some lances out on the map, that sort of thing, and then looking to add in the Barbican later when Song Dynasty becomes a bit more, you know, of a second thought. But in this case, it makes perfect sense. So I'm already learning stuff. I'm loving this. Looks like we've got the astronomical clock tower coming right down on the corner here as well, just so that he can maximize his base building. You can see beautifully positioned with the archery ranges. He's going to start out with double archery range. Interesting decision to go into double archery range. Ghazi Raiders looking to try and chase away the scout of Demo and managed to do so successfully, but Demo, scout, does survive and he just chills out for the moment. Barbican of the Sun just hanging out for the moment, preventing that sacred victory from starting to tick. Yeah, I'm very interested in how this game's going to go out, and the fact that he's gone into, or going for this strategy, especially against the Delhi Sultanate. This is good. This is good. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am. I love this kind of stuff. Oh my god. I don't know if I've got this weird thing that happens. I think it's when I blink, but sometimes, so I've got a lamp that's behind me, and like, I'm casting right now, and I blinked, but I think I might have blinked for a little bit too long. Like, maybe it was a micro sleep or something. That would be a bit weird. While I was casting, but it feels like the light goes off. Like, that's how dark it is. But maybe that's just what happens when you close your eyes. Don't worry, we'll get there. All right, so the great thing about being in the Castle Age and being able to make Jukunu is that your Jukunu upgrades are incredible. So not only do they come through the Jukunu upgrades with the extra attack, but you've also got +2 that you can play into. So it just means that you're getting so much more value out of your Jukunu, because +1 damage on a Jukunu is actually +3. So +2 damage is +6. And now you're going from that 5 base damage, which is what a Jukunu's normally got. So it's got the 4 with the +1, and it goes up to a base of, it goes up to 7 instead. So it allows you to cut through armor a lot more easily. So as an example, if you're fighting against, say, a knight, and the knight's got 4 armor, and you've got 5 attack, you're only doing 1 damage with every shot. Whereas if you're against that 4 armor and you've got 7 attack, you're now doing triple the damage with each shot. You go from 1 damage per shot to 3 damage per shot. So it creates that breakpoint ability and makes it a lot easier. But the age ups now come through from Alyona. Not a lot of units on the map for him either. I will say with Alyona's name, obviously I know he's French, and with different cultures come different names and different pronunciations, but whenever I say Alyona, I think of a female. I'm sorry, I apologize to Alyona in advance if I ever refer to him as her. I know who he is. I know that he's a male. I've seen his face. It's just that in my head I hear Alyona and I'm like, that sounds like that's a lovely girl's name. You know, if I was having a daughter, I would probably call her. I probably wouldn't call her Alyona. You know, we've kind of got a theme going on at the moment with the kids. I'm still trying to work out on a name for the daughter. You know, if I have another son, I got that one absolutely smashed out of the park. You know, I'm somewhat. I'm not going to reveal anything. I don't want to say anything here. But I'll just let you know. Things are going well. What did Elon Musk name his child? You know, the AEX_12. That's our naming convention. We're following the same naming convention as Elon. All right, so guaranteed to be successful. Poor kid. Can you imagine his passport? Like, can you pronounce that for me? Oh gosh. All right. I shouldn't. Anyway, Jukunu numbers are looking really solid here. Interestingly, we also have a Nest of Bees coming out. Now, keep in mind, the Nest of Bees is basically the same as what it was before. You won't see any real difference in this unit, except for the fact it's got a bit of a shorter range now. So it's only got 7 tiles of range. For all intents and purposes, though, it is pretty much the same damn thing. I guess the other thing is that its armor mechanic has changed a little bit more similar to Age of Empires 3 with Falconets. Same sort of concept there, you know, it takes less damage at range. Jukunu's working down the palisade. We can see the relics that have started to be picked up as well. And Demo's going to go straight in for this sacred site. He's loving life at the moment. This is looking good. And what was that scout doing? Oh, no, it wasn't doing anything. I thought the scout was getting its torch out, but it turns out the Nest of Bee was getting its torches out. That's going to be our second Nest of Bee out already. I'm always really cautious when there's Nest of Bees on the map and there's no spearmen to guard them. You, at the very least, would like just a handful of spearmen just to help out because, you know, you've seen the enemy making Ghazi Raiders. They've now hit the Castle Age and there's a good chance there's probably going to be Lancers coming soon. So it might be a worthwhile investment going into that. And you can see he moves one Jukunu forward and he actually spots out the Lancer. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Arax thrown down. He's actually quadruple archery range right now behind this. And oh, you know what this might be? It might just be now I'm thinking out loud here right now. I'm doing a little bit of Ed Sheeran. But what if Demu's thinking, well, I'm going to make so many Jukunu that there's nothing you can do. Because you can't make a Mangonel and kill my army. Like, Mangonels don't... Like, they're designed to kill ranged units, but still, they're not that good anymore, right? So, maybe he's just thinking, I'll just go full ranged unit composition and there's nothing you can do. Now, granted, on the other side, Alyona can just literally make Ghazi Raiders and Men-at-Arms. Like, I feel like this is a really good comp against what Demu's got. So, I would be surprised if Alyona just didn't wipe the floor with him right now. What do we got going on over here? Sacred site that's been neutralized, now going to get captured. Like that little... Did you see that little ring around the Rosie? The Ghazi Raider's just on his way. What was the Ghazi Raider even doing then? Okay, there we go. Ghazi Raider's got it all sorted out. Walls coming up for Demi. Beautiful walls. Beautiful walls as well. These are so damn important that he got these walls up. It just stops this engagement from ever happening. There's no way you can ever engage on that because of the walls. And to be honest, Demu could just literally push up playing ranged unit only and just with walls constantly. It's just going to be really careful right now because there's a huge opening along this edge. I would love to see that, you know, like just kind of walling off here, walling off this section, just walling off everything, and just keep pushing forward with more and more pressure. I would love that, man. Upgrades starting to come through now for Elyona. Lumber preservation, shaft mining coming through, as well as fertilization. All three of those tier 2 eco-techs are now online for Elyona. So big economies coming through at the 15-minute mark. Let's take a look and see how that eco count is doing. 60 versus 51, so pretty even Stevens at the moment. 3-2 split on the relics, and sacred sites at the moment, it's technically 1 versus 1, but we'll wait a couple seconds and we'll now say it's 2 versus 1, and they're Delhi sacred sites, so they're a little bit more enriching. All right, so back in the base of Demu. In the middle of the map, he's now going to be putting down the Imperial Palace. Imperial Palace is great because it's going to give you a huge amount of line of sight, but it's also going to put you into the Yuan dynasty. And by going into the Yuan dynasty, it is going to give him extra movement speed on everything. It's not just the Zhukunu and the Nest of Bees, it's also the villages. Now take a look on the mini-map. Have a look at how much line of sight that actually gives him. So now by going into the Imperial Palace, he can also utilize the Imperial Spies ability, and he can spot all of the villages on the enemy side of the map. Well, I mean, technically, he can probably see them on his own side of the map as well, but it allows you to spot every single enemy villager. So pretty cool technology right there. 2-minute cooldown on it, so don't get too comfortable getting vision inside the enemy's base. It won't last forever. All right, well, let's check in and see how he's doing. Look at the Nest of B number here. As I said, I am a little bit concerned, slightly concerned, if you will, at the fact that we don't actually see any spears whatsoever. And this is despite our opponent quite literally just maxing out on melee units. Ghazi Raiders, Men-at-Arms. There's a lot to be worried about on the other side of the map. Let's ride on board with Elyona and see how he's doing. As looks like he might be starting to make a bit of a push towards this top side, just preventing any sort of build-up of walls over here. He's going to start sieging it down slowly. Just wants to make sure he doesn't lose potential control of the sacred site. He's actually just going to avoid going into the wall and instead going to look to push around the edge, and he spots out all the Nest of Bees here. So, and this is the thing, right? Like before this patch, oh my lord. Before this patch, you see this many Nest of Bees and you go, oh lord, and you build a siege workshop and you throw a scholar inside it, and all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of counter units. I see this now and I'm just kind of like, okay, what am I going to do against that? That, you know, I'm going to have to get on top of that. And if there's spearmen out, how am I going to get my cavalry around that, on top of that? That's not going to be easy. That's my thinking. Now, Demu's unfortunately going to be a little bit too late to the party. We can see Elyona has got a huge mass of Ghazi Raiders, but have a look at this. +2 ranged armor is through, but the Zhukunu are able to absolutely mince these, and it's not even close. It doesn't even, at least it doesn't feel close to me. Looks like Demu's going to try a little bit of kiting here, but I don't even think he needs to. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, my friend, Drongo. No, he does all right. To be fair, Elyona did take away a fair bit of the mass right there. Like, he thinned the mass out, that is for sure. I still think it was a relatively good trade for Demu, and the more trades, or like the more he trades, the better it is, right? Like it just gets better and better for him, because, well, actually, does it? I mean, now that I think about it, like a Nest of Bees wants to fire into a big mass. It does, but it doesn't want to fire into a big mass of cavalry. To be honest, they don't discriminate. You can fire into a big mass of cavalry. They don't care. They'll be happy. So maybe big trades aren't a good thing for China. I'm not sure, especially in this current position where you've got, like, Vil economies even. Elyona's actually on 2 TCs now, and that's a concern. It's a concern for Demu because he's going to be thinking about going to Imperial Age here. This is kind of wild. What are we even watching here? This feels very, very strange. Demu's about to click up to Imperial Age? So I'm guessing that he's going to put a stone wall down in the middle of the map, maybe even, like, out towards the side here, and then just put the Great Wall Gatehouse on it. I feel like that's what he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to do that, but I feel like that's what he has to do. I mean, you could just go into the... Okay, there it is. Yeah, so you could just go into the spirit... The spirit? Hold on, I gotta check my villages here. Give me a second. The Spirit Way. Yeah, we got it, we got it. It's been a while since I played Chinese, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm more of an English main in recent times. But yeah, so just gonna come through here, and you don't actually have to build the walls, you just have to build the foundations, and then you can get that landmark down straight away. Now, Ayyubids should be able to spot this. I think he's got vision. He does indeed have vision, the outpost nearby. So he's going to start making moves towards this, and this could be bad for Demu, but it could also be a gift in disguise. Where is Demu's army? He's going to fall back away from that front. You can see, does he cancel here? I'd be tempted to cancel this. But with the nest of bees in the back, I think he's going to be absolutely fine. Where are the rest of those Zhuge-Nu? They're all in the back, and the second TC's actually come up for Demu now as well. So not only is he looking to go second TC, he's also looking to go Imperial at the same time. Nesta B is going to get caught out of position. Unfortunately, never got this wall across the front. It was such an easy wall to come through as well. Could have even just got a wall across here to try and secure things up, but he's already lost out. What was it, 2, 3 Nesta Bs here? And now he's going to lose another one. That is just such a painful loss for him, especially considering, you know, the changes recently where Nesta Bs don't really have a counter. You know, before, you'd look at the Springald and be like, that's not good. Whereas, oh God, hold on. I think he got a refund. I don't know exactly what happened here, but it looks like the landmark is dead, dude. I know it's not, but it looks like it is. A lot of elephants right now. Now, keep in mind, elephants are great at killing stuff, but Zhuge-Nu are very, very good at killing elephants. Even though they've got that big ranged armor, they're just a great unit you can focus down very easily, and that's what the Zhuge-Nu love to do. He's going to try his best to get the Great Wall Gatehouse up to try and defend this position. On the front, we've got that War Elephant. On the backside, the Ghazi Raiders try and make their way through. Going to be able to find a connection on the first Nesta B. Second Nesta B. Looks like it's going to be able to get out of there for the moment. He manages to get 2 out. Third one's now going to arrive for the battle as well, and you can see he's able to just kite away from these elephants, continuing to fall back. He's lost a fair few villagers. 14 vills already taken out this game, and Ayyubids starts to take that villager lead by an absolute mile. Age Up does come through. Great Wall Gatehouse is online, and with this, he should hold. The Chinese should hold, but has too much damage been done? Elephants now looking to get into the economy of the Chinese player. A couple Lancers, Men-at-Arms also going to be popping that extra movement speed that they love to get. And in the end, he does actually take out the majority of... There you go. Third TC. Look at that. Very, very nice. Third TC coming in. Now, keep in mind, he doesn't have the Song Dynasty anymore. He did move into the Yuan Dynasty, and with that, he also unlocked the pagodas, which we didn't actually talk about earlier, but we did see a little bit earlier. So, at this stage of the game, Demu knows he lost a lot of vills, and he continues to lose vills. In fact, he's lost now 29 villagers. So, this is one of the ways that you can get yourself back into this game, and it's a Hail Mary. And I think this is the right call. Why is it a Hail Mary? It's a Hail Mary because Demu needs to survive the next 5 to 10 minutes. If Demu can survive for the next 5 to 10 minutes, he can get himself into a winning position. The trouble that he's going to have is he's lost so many villagers right now. He's lost 33 vills. So basically, imagine like you've got a huge economy. So Demu would have had 91 vills. Okay, 91 vills, and now you've just lost those 33 vills in an instant. They're all gone. So you're going to have to build that back up. And of course, you've got 3 TCs, so it's going to go 3 times as fast. But you're still going to have to build up that deficit. You don't have those resources anymore. Those resources previously were going into units. It meant that you were constantly able to produce units, and now you don't have that constant ability to produce. So it means in the short term, he is going to struggle. He is going to have difficulty getting enough units out. So Ayyubids is going to look to go into the Imperial Age here, which, to be honest, is a mistake. I would say after killing that many villagers, Imperial is not your friend here. I would be going just absolutely 100% in Castle Age, just looking to ram it straight down the middle. But Ayyubids opted for a different route. Instead, going to be going up to the Imperial Age here. How many TCs do we have? It looks like we've just got the 2. Palace of the Sultan coming up for him over on that right side of the base. But obviously, the Palace of the Sultan going to be very, very strong here. Important to note, though, that we did have the Tower of Victory. And so we don't have as many scholars out, even though there's a fair few scholars. We've got 5 here, 10 here. So even though we're paying full price for them, we're still getting plenty of them out, which is very nice. I don't even think we looked at the House of Learning, by the way. So House of Learning was the tech choice here from Ayyubids. Apologies, only getting to that. I'm obviously very hyper-focused on the Chinese, just because, you know, as a Chinese main, that's what happens, right? You know, you like the Chinese, you're going to talk about the Chinese. It's natural. It's a bias that I've got. Sorry. What kind of upgrades are we going to see from Ayyubids? Let's take a look and see, because a number of them are on the way. Howdah's coming through. We've also got precision crossbreeding. We've got copulation on the way in, and we've got our crosscut saw. And we've got elite Ghazi Raiders coming through. All of our +3 upgrades and Tithe Barns, of course, no surprise. But what I'm curious about is whether we're going to see a university out soon. Because there's some new upgrades available in the university, and if we can see those, being researched. It could get exciting. Very forward keep here. Not a lot of vills. Looks like they're all going to get taken out as well. And Demu just cancels the keep. He says, all right, fair enough. Well played. Cancels the keep and just moves on with his life. Says, oh, we'll go elsewhere. It's okay. Now, over on this top side, this is not walled off, but it is walled off across the bottom. Doesn't have it stone walled off just yet, but that's absolutely fine. There's actually some stone available for him on the outside. Nice farming economy getting set up for him. Meanwhile, back home, looks like Imperial officials supervising. We do have the university. What's he going to go into? It looks like it's just going to be ancient techniques. Keep in mind, the chemistry technology available to the Chinese actually got removed, if I remember correctly. I don't think you can get it anymore. No? Hold on. Advances in alchemical research increase the bonus damage of all gunpowder siege weapons by 25%. What happened? I remember something happened. Have they changed that? Why do I feel like that? Didn't they just remove chemistry? I swear they just removed chemistry. Maybe I'm going crazy. Demu going... Speaking of going crazy, though, have a look at this. Demu with the 4 town centers now. He says, we're going to go a little bit heavier on the boom. Hand cannon is going to start coming through for him as well. And at this stage, I'm starting to think to myself, okay, but, you know, how are we going to deal with these hand cannons? Well, there are options for you. As an example, maybe you're thinking of getting out... oh, we don't have a siege workshop here, so I'm not going to be able to show you the tech, am I? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. What other options have we got in here? Let's just review the options. So, biology. So, extra 30% on our health. And then we've also got serpentine powder, serpentine. With new gunpowder, hand cannoneers gain +8 damage against melee infantry and gain a brief increase to their movement speed after firing their weapon. So very nice for kiting. Then obviously chemistry, we've already reviewed that. We can also see silk bowstrings. So stringing bows with silk grants archers +2 range and mounted archers +1 range. That'll be fun when we've got our horse archers running around or our cavalry archers, whatever they are. New carpentry techniques increase the health of siege units by 20%. And we've got court architects. Have they changed the description of these? Patronage of the finest builders increases all building health by 30%. I feel like we're getting a little bit more roleplay going on there. Like, I thought, wasn't it before just like buildings health increased by 30%? You have stronger buildings. Congratulations. Like that sort of thing. Hand cannoneers. Focusing down the elephants, doing what they do best. This is what they love to do here. Gonna get caught out of position. Elite Ghazi Raiders is already through. And now Elyona, with the score lead, is going to look to try and push down Demu. He's getting inside the base here. Keep in mind, there's a nice little concave here of all of these ranged units. Demu just going the full ranged unit composition here. And keep in mind, that's against Elyona, who's just going for a full melee composition. Now, we do start to see hand cannoneers coming out. These guys do have a bit of attack speed, which would be very, very nice. Together with the other upgrades. So, it's not chemistry, it's this one here, serpentine powder. This will be quite nice. So chemistry doesn't affect them anymore, the hand cannoneers. Chemistry only affects gunpowder siege weapons. So these aren't siege weapons, these are gunpowder infantry units. So gunpowder siege units would be like this right here, the clock tower of nested bees. So hold on. So he's not getting bonus damage though, because 6 is like the base damage. So, and we clicked on the university and the tech wasn't even there. I don't know whether it's bugged or what the situation is, or maybe I'm just crazy. Because shouldn't you be getting that 25% as China? And you're like very clearly not, because it doesn't have like a +2 here. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Advancements in alchemical research increase the bonus damage of all gunpowder siege weapons by 25%. I don't know, man. It feels like that probably affects it. The keep's getting +2%. +2. No, that's just +2 range attack, isn't it? It is. All right, what are we still sitting on Yuan? Still sitting on Yuan. Hand cannoneer moving down around the outside. Up to 36 hand cannoneers at this point, by the way. Does he look to get the second wall right here? That's what he should be doing. That's what he should be doing. Second wall, please. Second wall, please. No, don't go for the heal. Oh, you're playing with fire right now, my friend. Oh, he's gonna be able to hold it. Oh, jeez. Hand cannoneers got there right in time, though, didn't they? You gotta be so careful. I feel like the rate of repair is so much slower than the rate of construction. Like, you got 4 vills repairing 1 gate, and it repairs at like half the rate you construct a wall. I feel like it's just better investment to just construct the wall. All right, well, towards the middle of the map. Have a look at this. Nesta B's getting caught out of position as the elite men-at-arms run up on top of them. There's absolutely nothing here to defend them, and unfortunately, those bees run away. But they did take some significant losses. We now have elite lancers on the battlefield as well. The Nesta Bees still live on. It's been a bit of a weird game, hasn't it? I think people are still going to be feeling each other out quite early because this is still early on in the new season. So I think people are largely going to be feeling each other out, you know, seeing the power of specific builds and buildings and units and all that good stuff. And at the moment, like, the fact that Demu's been able to deny Sacred Victory has been instrumental to the fact he's still in the game. Not to mention the fact that he's now managed to survive. You know, we talked about survival a little bit earlier. A huge part of that was the Great Wall Gatehouse. So he managed to build this foundation of defense. Alyona didn't look to push it down the middle. And to be fair, I mean, he would have had access to trebuchets, but it would have been quite slow for him to do that. So maybe Alyona did make the right call in just trying to play the long game, but I feel like any game you're playing the long game against the Chinese is not going to go well for you. Like, the big thing is, in the late game, the most powerful unit, in my mind, is the hand cannoneer. It just trumps everything. It is incredible. And while 20% attack speed is lovely to have, 20% attack speed is nothing on pyrotechnics, which give you plus 1.5 tiles of range. Attack speed means nothing if you can't attack the enemy. And that's what pyrotechnics allows you to do. It allows you to constantly kite and make sure that you've always got that range advantage over your opponent. And I think that's one of the key instruments. I remember when the change initially came through, I absolutely despised it because I felt like China already had this identity. You know, they had Grenadiers and they had Nesta Bees, and it was like, now you're just going to make them a hand cannoneer civ, and everyone else has got hand cannoneers, but it seems to have stuck around, and people seem to still like it. It's definitely still very strong. I just had a bit of an issue with the fact that we already had so many damn units that all kind of did the same thing. But I guess in the end, they changed the Grenadier quite a bit, didn't they? He's not the same that he used to be. Do you guys remember back in the day when the Grenadier had, like, actually decent range and it didn't have to go up into melee range to hit units? Those were the days. Those were the days. Wasn't that when, was that when chemistry gave increased range? Do you remember that? I think chemistry gave, like, an increase in range. There was some increase in range, I remember. Because the Nesta Bees went from 8 tiles to 9.6. It had to be 20% then. All right, well, Demu on the defensive here has decided, you know what? I think I'm going to be able to hold this. And he looks to try and hold as best he can. Bombards on either side. Nesta Bees teeing off towards the back as the keep goes down. Plenty of bombards out. He's up to 3 bombards, and the hand cannoneers look to try and take out the elephants, but Alyona is on a mighty fine roll right now. Demu looking to keep himself alive, the head above water. Meanwhile, towards the east side, the Zhukanu and crossbowmen just working together to try and take down that wall ever so slowly. And now, together with those great wall gatehouses, the hand cannoneers look to push back this huge mass coming out from Alyona on the Delhi Sultanate. Bombard's going to come forward. 85% ranged resist there. So still quite a bit of that ranged attack getting through. Demu on 188 pop. Alyona 160 pop. Economy looking quite decent for Demu now. He fell behind there for a bit, but he managed to pull back up with that extra town center drop. He had so many TCs back there. We can see he's still got the 4 TCs back there. Obviously, they haven't gone anywhere, but I'm always just checking that another sibling hasn't popped up. Got to be so damn careful with these town centers. Just the 4 for now. And now Demu's going to push up. He's actually in a really good spot here. As long as he's got bombards in the rear, and he does. That's going to be 1 clock tower bombard. Ideally, you'll probably want a couple more just to try and help push the final push home. It becomes really, really important to be able to take out your enemy's production in 1 shot. It just really speeds things up. And now Demu, for the first time in a long time, is going to take the score lead over his opponent. A lot of units still coming out here for Alyona, but they're starting to trickle in, and the hand cannoneers are really doing a decent job of just cutting it out. More Ghazi Raiders in from the top side. Over towards the east, plenty of resources being secured here by Demu as well. Taking this time, this opportunity to secure things up. Now the hand cannoneers continue falling back away from the pack. Wants to try and keep that line together, but he's going to throw away the nest of bees, unfortunately. Meanwhile, that Sultan's elite tower elephant with 960 health does unfortunately go down, gets taken out pretty damn quickly. And Elyona trying his best to hold on here. But I think Demu may have done it. The Vil count's starting to drop now on the side of Elyona. He's down to 106 villagers. Yeah, he's lost 18 this game now, so has lost out quite a bit. Where does he go from here? I don't think there's... Is there anything that you can do to win this in this position? Mangonels? No. Springald? No. Your own Bombards? No. He's gone. He's trying for Trebuchets. He's like, maybe Trebuchets can work? I don't know, Elyona. I don't think the Trebuchet is going to be it for you, at least not now. Maybe 20 minutes ago it could have been decent when Demu was, you know, when you took out all those Vils. It would have been a great opportunity for you to try and push and end the game. But maybe he just didn't realize how many Vils he killed and how weak Demu was at that moment. But Demu threw a Hail Mary here. You know, he dropped down 4 TCs or 3 TCs, 3 extra TCs, and said, I'm going to go for it. He went for it, and he's caught it. And not only that, he's marching to the end zone right now. There's not a single defensive linesman. I'm just throwing out words here. I don't know if those are accurate terms and they make sense. I'm just going to be like, and there's not a single quarterback on the end zone to intercept him. But I know that hurt. That hurt a lot of American ears right there. Oh gosh, that was not pretty. It's like trying to speak another language, and people mock you because you're saying bonjour instead of bonjour. It's very different. All right, well, the kiting continues. Demu continues to build his lead as well. He's up 2k points at this stage of the game. Holding on for dear life. We check out over on the flanks, but the only thing that can... I honestly don't even know what can hold him here. Maybe like a big cavalry? See, the thing is, the Ghazi Raiders kind of got wrecked by the hand cannoneers. Like, he had a decent number of them. But was it just that he didn't have enough of them? Maybe that was the problem. It felt like he never really had enough. Springald came out. Yeah, go Springald. We love the Springald. 8 tiles of range. Poor Springald, dude. Poor Springald, man. He didn't have a chance against the Clock Tower Bombards. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Demu takes out Elyona, and pretty decent comeback right there. He was down a lot of Vils, and he managed to pull it together. So well played to Demu. Ladies and gentlemen, go check them out. I'll leave a link down in the description to where you can watch them both live. They both stream on Twitch. They're both great players and great guys. So go say good day, and we'll catch you in the next one.